Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be sharing with you my handbag buying process. So as you guys know, I absolutely love my designer handbags, but unfortunately they cost quite a bit. So I do have a bag buying process where I consider all different things to try and avoid any costly mistakes and to make sure that I make the most sensible purchase possible. So if you guys are into luxury handbags and you work really hard for them and you do want to make those smart purchases, then my checklist may help you guys as well. This video has been requested by a few of you previously, so thank you so much for the request, guys. And I'm finally getting around to filming it. I was originally going to film my handbag collection video today, which I know a lot of you have requested, but a bag has popped up on my radar that I'm potentially going to purchase soon. So I wanted to postpone the handbag collection video until I decide on that purchase. But I thought this might be the perfect timing for me to film this bag buying process video because I am trying to apply my own logic and checklist before I decide on purchasing this item because it is not on my wish list. So it kind of just popped up and I'm kind of obsessed with it. So I'm trying to avoid an impulse purchase. So I stopped myself from getting it and now I'm really thinking through my process to make sure that this bag will work out for my lifestyle. So I thought filming this video might help you guys as much as it'll help myself at the moment. So I hope you enjoy this video and hopefully you'll find some of my steps helpful and you can apply some of these steps in your bag buying process as well. If you guys have any other tips on deciding on a purchase that I haven't discussed in this video, we'd love to learn from your process as well. So leave your tips down below in the comment section. So without further ado, let's get started. So there are two different scenarios that I usually come across. So the first scenario is when I'm looking for a bag for a specific purpose. So for example, if I am looking for a new work bag or a new going out bag and I'm exploring options to fulfill the specific purpose. So that's the first case scenario. And the second scenario is when I just see a bag and I just fall in love with it and I try and decide on whether that bag is actually going to fit my lifestyle or not. So depending on the scenario, I do have slightly different thought process. So for the first scenario, I look for a few options that might suit that purpose and then narrow it down to a few bags that I really like and research each bag in detail and then decide on the best one that might fit my lifestyle. And for the second scenario, I don't need to explore options because I'm considering that one bag. So I'll be thinking more along the lines of whether this bag suits my style and whether I will get the wear out of it. So from this point, I will have one bag that I narrowed down my choice to, and then I go through my personal considerations as well as do some general research about this bag. So when it comes to my own personal considerations, there are four things that I think about. So the first point of consideration will be versatility. So we all have a different lifestyle and the specific bag needs to suit our own lifestyle for different occasions that we might come across in our own lives. So for me, I do work 4 or 5 days a week and 2 or 3 days I am out and about, going shopping, going out to brunches, dinners and things like that. And I don't have a lot of fancy events to attend to. So when I'm considering a bag for my own lifestyle, I do really need to think about the scenarios that I can carry this bag to. So is this a bag that I can take out to dinners, brunches, shopping days out with friends? What can I use this bag for? And how versatile is this bag going to be for my own lifestyle? Also considering my own wardrobe, is this bag going to go with a lot of different outfits that I wear, whether it's a dressy outfit or a more casual outfit? So versatility for my own lifestyle is the first thing that I consider. So the second thing that I consider personally is whether I have a bag in my collection already that can serve the same purpose. So the bag in question may look really pretty and I might just be really obsessed with it, but sometimes I do really need to go through my own collection and see whether this bag is really needed in my collection or is it just a short-lived obsession. I've been collecting handbags for a while now, so I do have quite a few handbags in my collection. So more often than not, I can always find a bag in my collection that can really serve that purpose. So that makes this new handbag in question that I possibly may purchase quite redundant. The third point on my personal consideration list is whether this bag is classic or trendy. So classic handbags are things that will see you through many years, such as your Chanel classic classic flaps, Louis Vuitton Speedies, Neverfulls, the bags that have been around for a long time that have not gone out of fashion really. So if the bag in question is a classic bag, then I suppose you can see it as a safer option. So it might be a little bit easier to decide on whether to get this bag or not. On the other hand, if the bag in question is a trendy item, so I can think of a lot of examples like your Gucci Marmont bags, Chloe Faye bags, all of those trendy bags that might possibly go out of fashion in a few years' time, then you really need to consider whether you're going to be able to wear this enough in those few years to get the cost per wear down. So in my opinion, when I'm spending over $1,000 on a handbag, I really need to know that I'm going to get my money's worth out of this item. So for a classic handbag, I'll have a long time to enjoy this item. So even if I get to only wear it a few times a year, I'll have many years to enjoy the bag. Whereas for a trendy handbag, you may only want to carry this for the next couple of years. So then if you're only carrying this trendy bag a few times a year, then it's really not worth it because your cost per wear will be really high. If you only get to wear this bag, say 10 times in those 2 years, and then it goes out of fashion, and then it's not trendy anymore, and you don't feel like wearing it out anymore, then in my opinion, that's a massive waste of money. So if the bag that I'm considering purchasing is a trendy handbag, then I really need to make sure that I will get a lot of wear out of it in those couple of years. And then the final point that I personally consider is whether I have the money and if I have budgeted for this purchase or not. So this is a really important point. You might find a bag that you absolutely love that will fit your lifestyle and that you can style with so many different outfits, but if you haven't saved up for it or if you don't have the budget for it, then there is no point going there because there is no luxury handbag that is worth getting into debt over. So after going through these 4 personal considerations, if everything's still green light and if this bag in question passes all of those 4 tests, then I go ahead and research about the bag. So there are 4 steps that I always do to research about an item to really work out whether this item is going to be worth it for me. So the first thing that I do is research on the internet, and my favorite way of doing that is of course on YouTube. And that is the whole reason I started this channel, so I can put out my information and my experience out there so I can be of help to people like me who might want to do some research before they make some luxury purchases. So I researched the heck out of YouTube. So I watched pretty much all of the YouTube videos on the bag that I'm interested in purchasing. So the one that I am considering at the moment that I briefly talked about at the beginning of the video is actually from Loewe. And this bag, I've found that on YouTube, there weren't that many videos on it. So if there aren't that many videos on the bag that you're researching about, then I'll, go ahead and find blog posts or a lot of pictures from Instagram or Pinterest so I can see how the bag sits and really gather as much information I can about the handbag. The reason I absolutely love YouTube videos for doing my research on these bags is because it is often really detailed and I can just see the bag in action, and a lot of the times I can see how the bag looks on a person and I can see all of the things that can fit in it, and I really feel like I'm there looking at the bag. So if I still like the bag after seeing all the YouTube videos and after doing all my research online, then I'll physically go into a store to try it if possible. So wherever possible, if you do live near a boutique that carries the bag in question, then I really encourage you to go in and actually try the bag itself before making the decision. But I know a lot of you live quite far from major city centers, and if it's really difficult for you to try on a handbag, then I really suggest ordering the bag from a website that has really easy returns policy so that you can order the bag and try it on yourself in the comfort of your own home. And if the bag isn't what you thought it will be like in person, then you can always easily return it. And then the third thing that I do as part of my research for a new handbag is research different websites and retailers for the price. So I say there are only 3 brands that have a recommended retail price that we can't escape, and that is Hermes, Chanel, and Louis Vuitton. As far as any of the other brands go, you can find them on various online luxury department stores such as Matches Fashion, Net-a-Porter, My Teresa, Farfetch, and all of those different platforms where they sell a lot of different luxury brands, and I often find that the prices vary between those different online department stores. So it is really worth your time checking different websites for how much the bag is going for. So I have a really good example here. So I purchased this mini Chloe Faye bag about a year and a bit ago, and I saved about $400 researching different websites for the prices. So I could actually get this bag from David Jones' store in the city here in Sydney, physically go in there and purchase it, and the bag was going for $1,140 from my memory, which when I was doing my online research, a lot of different retailers had this bag for around that same price. But one day I found that this bag was going for 745 Australian dollars on Selfridges website, and shipping was $45 for express shipping out to Australia. So that made this bag $790. So after thinking about this bag for a few days, I've decided to purchase it from Selfridges. So that way I saved almost $400 by just looking at different websites and checking different prices. So from that experience, I always compare prices from different websites and department stores. And then the final thing I consider is the resale value of the bag in question. So if your bag has made through all of the hoops and you're pretty sure on getting this bag, then the final point you might want to consider is, in case that for whatever reason you don't like the bag after a few wears, whether you'll be able to get a decent amount of money back if you did decide to resell it. So this is definitely not the ideal situation, and it's not always a deal breaker, because if you love the bag, you love the bag, and if you can afford it and you can think of different ways of wearing it, then by all means, even if the resale value is really bad, who cares? You're gonna buy it and enjoy it, and that's fine. But even so, it is a good point to consider, so that even if you are buying a bag that doesn't have such a good resale value, you kind of get it with the knowledge that if you do decide to resell it, you're not gonna get a lot of money back for it. So generally, classic styles will have a better resale value than trendy items, but it really depends on how popular the item is. So even if you purchase a trendy item, if you do decide to resell it while it's still really trending, then you might be able to get a lot of your money back. And the best way to research your resale value is to go on one of the consignment stores such as Fashion File or Yugi's Closet, even eBay, and just really looking at how much these second handbags are going for. So that is it for this video, guys. I hope this process makes sense to you. It kind of makes sense in my head, and whenever I apply this process, I usually end up with a successful purchase that I don't end up regretting. It really prevents me from making an impulse purchase. So I'll keep you posted on whether I decide to get the leather bag in question or not. I will sure reveal it on my channel if I do end up getting it. As always, thank you so much for watching this video and spending some of your precious minutes with me today. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, because I'd love to have you back, and I can't wait to see you again soon in my next video. Bye guys.
You're my Peter, taking me home.